Chapter 1. You Fell First. Blackwood Enterprises rose above the city like it had always belonged there. Glass walls reflected the sky. Steel framed every floor with precision. Inside, silence was expensive, and power moved without noise. It wasn't just a company. It was influence. Deals were closed in rooms without windows. Markets shifted because someone inside had decided they should. At the center of it all was Ethan Blackwood. Chief Executive Officer. Founder. The final authority. He didn't shout. He didn't threaten. His presence alone was enough to straighten spines and lower voices. Ethan Blackwood was known for three things: his intelligence, his control, and his absolute intolerance for inefficiency. Right beneath that power sat a role most people underestimated. The personal secretary to the CEO. Not an assistant. Not a clerk. A gatekeeper. The person who knew the CEO's schedule better than he did himself. Who filtered the world before it reached him. Who noticed the things no one else dared to. That role belonged to Noah Carter. Noah stood in the lobby on his first day, hands folded neatly in front of him, eyes lifted but cautious. The building smelled like polish and quiet ambition. He didn't belong to this world of glass and tailored suits, not really. His shoes were clean but worn. His tie was second-hand. His confidence carefully practiced. Noah had grown up learning how to take up less space. If he was quiet enough, useful enough, grateful enough, he was allowed to stay. So that was what he brought with him into Blackwood Enterprises. Usefulness. Care. Silence. The elevator carried him upward. Higher than he'd ever been in any building. Each floor passed like a reminder of distance. Between where he came from and where he was now. When the doors opened on the executive floor, the air felt different. Still. Controlled. Noah took a slow breath and stepped out. He saw Ethan Blackwood through the glass walls of his office. The CEO stood by the window, phone pressed to his ear, city stretching endlessly behind him. Tall. Broad shoulders squared beneath a perfectly tailored suit. Posture rigid with responsibility. He spoke calmly, but firmly. No. That won't work. A pause. Make it work. The call ended. Ethan stayed still for a moment afterward. And that was when Noah noticed it. Not the power. Not the authority. The exhaustion. The way Ethan's shoulders sagged just slightly. The way he rubbed the bridge of his nose, eyes closed. It wasn't weakness. It was weight. Something in Noah's chest tightened. The first day passed quietly. Noah learned faster than anyone expected. He memorized schedules. Anticipated needs. Organized without being asked. He watched. At 2:47 p.m., Ethan's coffee went cold. At 6:15 p.m., he skipped dinner. At 9:02 p.m., he was still working. Everyone else left. Noah didn't. At 9:18, Noah knocked softly on the glass door. Ethan didn't look up. Come in. Noah stepped inside and placed a reheated cup of coffee on the desk. I noticed it earlier, he said gently. I thought you might still want it. Ethan looked up then. Really looked. Soft eyes. Calm posture. A secretary who hadn't been told to do this. You didn't have to, Ethan said. Noah gave a small, sincere smile. I wanted to. The words settled between them. Ethan nodded once. Thank you. It wasn't much. But Noah carried it home like something precious. That night, Noah lay awake in his small rented room. The ceiling fan creaked softly. Street lights filtered through thin curtains. His body was tired. But his thoughts were loud. Not about money. Not about work. About the way Ethan's shoulders had relaxed after the coffee. The way his voice had softened, just a little. This is nothing, Noah told himself. You're just doing your job. But his heart didn't believe him. The next morning, Noah arrived early. Too early. The office was empty and quiet. He adjusted the lighting, straightened files, prepared the day before it began. When Ethan walked in, the coat draped over his arm, he stopped. "Did you change something?" Noah stiffened. Was that not okay?" Ethan looked around. The room felt calmer, less sharp. "No," he said slowly. "It's fine." He sat down. And for the first time in months, Ethan worked without a headache. Days passed. Noah learned Ethan's silences. When they mean don't talk. When they mean I'm tired. And when they meant stay. Some nights, Noah would sit quietly at his desk long after hours, not typing, just being there. Ethan never asked him to leave. Late one night, Ethan finally spoke. "You don't have to wait every time." Noah looked up. "I know." "Then why do you?" Noah hesitated. "Because no one should work alone this late." Ethan stared at him. Then, quietly, "You're strange." Noah smiled. "I get that a lot." But Ethan didn't look annoyed. He looked less alone. Noah didn't realize when it happened. There was no moment. No dramatic shift. Just a quiet truth settling into his chest. He noticed Ethan before himself. Cared without being asked. Choose him every day, silently. He knew the rules. Ethan liked women. Ethan was his boss. Ethan lived in a world Noah didn't belong to. So Noah did what he had always done. He loved carefully. Quietly. Without hope. As Noah packed his bag one evening, Ethan spoke again. "You work too hard." Noah paused. "So do you." Ethan smirked faintly. "That's my job." Noah met his eyes. "So is mine." Something passed between them. Unspoken. Unnamed. Real. Noah Carter didn't plan to fall in love. He just did. In quiet moments. In small care. In staying when no one asked him to. And somewhere deep inside him, Noah accepted the truth he would never say aloud. I fell first. Chapter 2, When Attention Became Habit. Ethan Blackwood didn't change overnight. That was what made it dangerous. It began with small things. Too small to question. Ethan noticed Noah's footsteps before his voice. Soft. Measured. Always approaching with purpose, never hesitation. "You're early," Ethan said one morning without looking up. Noah smiled. "I like being prepared." Ethan hummed, approving. From that day, Noah's desk was moved closer to Ethan's office. Not officially. Not announced. Just closer. No one questioned it. No one dared. Ethan's flirting slipped into their routine like it belonged there. "You always fix my mistakes before I notice them. It's my job. You make it look personal." Noah laughed quietly. Ethan watched the curve of his lips longer than necessary. When Noah handed him files, Ethan's fingers brushed his every time. Not accidental. Not avoided. Neither mentioned it. Noah told himself it was harmless. Ethan flirted with everyone. That's what powerful men did. But Ethan never asked others if they'd eaten. Never noticed when they were tired. Never waited for their replies. "You didn't bring lunch today," Ethan said one afternoon. "I wasn't hungry." Ethan stood. That wasn't a suggestion. He took Noah's wrist, gentle, firm, and led him to the private dining area. Noah's heart pounded. Ethan didn't let go until Noah was seated. "You need to take care of yourself," Ethan said. Noah looked up. "Since when do CEOs worry about that?" Ethan met his gaze. "Since now." The rumor started quietly. "They always did. He stays late. They eat together. The CEO smiles more. Noah heard them and shrank inward. Ethan heard them and didn't care. In fact, he leaned into it. Ethan would rest his hand on Noah's chair during meetings. Stand too close. Speak Noah's name like it mattered. Only Noah handles that. Ask Noah first. Noah stays. Possessive. Openly. And somehow, tender. One evening, Noah worked late correcting a presentation error that wasn't his fault. Ethan noticed the tension in his shoulders. Come here, Ethan said softly. Noah hesitated. Ethan reached out and adjusted Noah's collar with surprising care. You're allowed to breathe, Ethan murmured. The touch lingered. Too intimate for an office. Too gentle to be dismissed. Noah stepped back, voice shaking. You shouldn't do that. Ethan frowned. Why? Because, Noah stopped himself. Because I'm falling. Because I can't afford this. Because you don't even know. I'm your employee, Noah finished. Ethan's jaw tightened. And you're mine, he said without thinking. Silence crashed between them. Ethan exhaled slowly. I didn't mean. But Noah was already looking away. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He replayed Noah's expression. The way he stepped back. The way it hurt more than it should have. He had always liked women. Always dated women. So why did Noah's distance feel unbearable? The next day, Noah tried to be professional. Too professional. No lingering glances. No quiet smiles. No staying late. Ethan noticed immediately. You're avoiding me, he said. Noah froze. I'm not. You are. Noah swallowed. I just don't want to misunderstand anything. Ethan stepped closer. Then don't. Their breaths mingled. Ethan's voice dropped. If I didn't want you near me, you'd know. Noah's heart cracked open. The breaking point came when a senior executive joked openly. So, when's the secretary getting promoted for personal reasons? Laughter followed. Noah went still. Before he could react, Ethan slammed his hand on the table. That's enough. The room froze. Noah is here because he's competent, Ethan said coldly. Anyone who questions that can leave my company. Noah stared at him. Ethan's gaze softened, just for Noah. If anyone speaks about him like that again, Ethan added. They answer to me. Later, alone in the office, Noah whispered. You didn't have to do that. Ethan stepped closer. Yes, I did. Why? Ethan searched Noah's face. Because I can't stand the thought of anyone touching you with words that aren't mine. But he only said. Because you matter. Noah's eyes shimmered. That night, as Noah prepared to leave, Ethan stopped him at the door. Noah. Yes? Ethan hesitated, something unfamiliar in his chest. Don't disappear on me. Noah smiled softly. I won't. Ethan watched him go. And for the first time, he admitted it. This wasn't flirting. This was love. Arriving without permission. Refusing logic. And already impossible to stop. Noah fell first, and quietly. Ethan fell harder, and without control. And though neither had crossed a line, their hearts already had. Chapter 3, Loving You Where No One Could See. Noah learned the shape of Ethan's exhaustion before he ever learned the shape of his hands. It showed in the way Ethan's shoulders slumped after meetings. In the way his voice softened late at night. In the way he stopped pretending he didn't need anyone. Noah noticed everything. He always had. Ethan stopped flirting as loudly. Instead, he stayed closer. Sit, he'd say quietly during meetings. Don't leave yet. Come with me. No teasing. No jokes. Just need. And Noah followed, every time. One evening, Ethan came out of a board meeting angry, jaw tight, tie loosened. Noah didn't ask questions. He walked beside him in silence, handed him water, and waited. Inside the office, Ethan exhaled sharply. "They don't listen," he muttered. Noah spoke softly. "They will. They always do." Ethan looked at him. "How do you know?" "Because you don't lead with fear," Noah replied. "You lead with certainty." Something in Ethan's eyes cracked. He turned away too quickly. The care became private. Noah adjusted Ethan's jacket before meetings. Ethan made sure Noah left work on time. When Noah caught a cold, Ethan noticed before anyone else. "You sick?" Ethan said flatly. "I'm fine." "No," Ethan insisted, already removing his coat. "Go home." Ethan handed Noah a scarf. "My driver will take you." Noah hesitated. "That's unnecessary." Ethan's voice softened. "Please." Noah accepted. That night, Ethan texted. "Did you eat? Take the medicine. Sleep." Noah stared at the screen, heart aching. This was how people loved. Quietly, carefully, where no one could see. The first almost kiss happened by accident. Or fate. Late. Rainy. Power outage. The office fell into darkness except for emergency lights. Noah froze. Ethan was suddenly close. "You okay?" Ethan asked. Noah nodded. Their faces were inches apart. Noah could feel Ethan's breath. Warm. Steady. Ethan lifted a hand, stopped himself. His thumb hovered near Noah's cheek. "Tell me to stop," Ethan whispered. Noah didn't. But he didn't move either. The moment stretched. Then Noah stepped back. "I should go," he said softly. Ethan nodded. Neither slept that night. The rumors grew louder. Whispers followed Noah through hallways. Ethan noticed. "You're quieter," he said one morning. Noah forced a smile. "I'm fine." Ethan wasn't convinced. When an executive cornered Noah later. "So, what exactly are you to the CEO?" Ethan appeared instantly. "That's enough," he said sharply. He placed himself between them. "Speak to him again," Ethan warned. "And you'll be speaking to HR." The executive left. Ethan turned to Noah. "You don't deserve that." Noah looked up, voice trembling. "Then stop making it worse." The words hung heavy. Ethan went still. "Is that what you think?" he asked quietly. Noah nodded. "I'm already falling," Noah confessed in a whisper. "And you don't even know what you want." Silence. Pain. Truth. Ethan didn't reach for him. Instead, he said softly, "You're wrong." Noah looked up. "I know exactly what I want," Ethan continued. "I just don't know what it means." He stepped back. "For now, let me protect you." Noah nodded, tears burning. That night, Ethan stared at his reflection. Women. Expectations. Power. None of it explained the ache. Only Noah did. The chapter ended with distance. Necessary. Painful. But love doesn't disappear when stepped away from. It waits. Noah loved in silence. Ethan loved in confusion. And somewhere between restraint and longing, they learned the hardest truth. Some love doesn't need permission. It only needs courage. Chapter 4. When the world started watching. Distance didn't protect them. It exposed them. Noah tried to become invisible. He arrived early. Left on time. Spoke only when required. He stopped sitting beside Ethan in meetings. Stopped bringing coffee without being asked. Stopped lingering. The office noticed. So did Ethan. "You're doing it again," Ethan said quietly one morning. Noah didn't look up from his tablet. I'm working. That's not what I meant. Silence stretched. Noah finally whispered. People are talking. Ethan's jaw tightened. Let them. They won't stop, Noah replied. And I don't want to be the reason you're questioned. Ethan stepped closer. You're not the reason, he said firmly. They're the problem. The rumors weren't subtle anymore. They're definitely together. He favors him. CEO sleeping with his secretary. Noah heard it all. The words stuck to his skin. One afternoon, an anonymous complaint landed on our desk. Conflict of interest. Unprofessional behavior. Misuse of authority. HR scheduled a review. Ethan smiled when he read it. A cold, dangerous smile. The board meeting was brutal. You're risking the company's image. This attachment is inappropriate. Think rationally. Ethan stood. I am, he said calmly. And rationally speaking, my private life does not weaken my leadership. This isn't private if it affects staff. Ethan's voice hardened. Then address me, he said. Not him. Silence followed. Noah waited outside the boardroom, heart racing. When Ethan emerged, his expression unreadable, Noah spoke first. I'll resign, Noah said quietly. Ethan stopped. What? If it ends this, Noah continued. I'll leave. Ethan's composure shattered. No, he said sharply. You don't get to decide that. Noah's voice broke. I love you, he admitted. And I can't watch them tear you apart because of me. The words echoed between them. Ethan grabbed Noah's wrist and pulled him into his office, locking the door. You think this is easy for me? Ethan demanded. You think I don't feel it? Noah's eyes filled. I fell first, Noah whispered. And I stayed quiet. Ethan stepped closer, hands trembling. I fell forever, he said. And I'm done pretending. The kiss wasn't rushed. It was careful. Ethan cupped Noah's face like he was something fragile. The kiss was soft at first, testing. Then desperate. Years of restraint collapsed. When they broke apart, both were breathless. Ethan rested his forehead against Noah's. I don't care who knows, he said. I won't hide you. The next day, Ethan did the unthinkable. He called a company-wide meeting. Noah stood beside him, terrified. Ethan spoke clearly. I've heard the rumors, he said. They're true in one sense, I care deeply about Noah. Gasps filled the room. But there has been no misuse of power, Ethan continued. And anyone who disrespects him will answer to me. He reached for Noah's hand. I choose him. That night, Ethan took Noah to the rooftop. City lights stretched endlessly. Ethan dropped to one knee. I don't know what the world will say, Ethan said. But I know what my heart chose. He held out a ring. You fell first, he said softly. I fell forever. Noah cried as he nodded. Yes. Love didn't ruin them. It revealed them. And when the world finally looked closely, it saw not scandal, but devotion strong enough to stand unhidden. Chapter 5, After the Yes. The world didn't end after Ethan chose Noah. It softened. Morning light filtered into Ethan's penthouse slowly, like it was afraid to disturb something sacred. Noah woke first. For a moment, panic flared. The instinct to pull away, to remember rules, distance, consequences. Then he felt an arm around his waist. Warm. Secure. Certain. Ethan was still asleep, face relaxed in a way Noah had never seen before. No sharp edges. No CEO armor. Just a man who had finally let himself rest. Noah watched him quietly. This is real, he thought. He stayed. Ethan woke to find Noah tracing invisible patterns on his arm. Morning, Ethan murmured, voice rough. Noah smiled shyly. Morning. Ethan tightened his hold immediately. Possessive. But gentle. Don't disappear, Ethan said, half asleep. Noah leaned closer. I'm right here. That was all Ethan needed. The first kiss of the day wasn't desperate. It was slow. Ethan brushed his lips against Noah's forehead first. Then his temple. Then finally his mouth. A question. Noah answered by leaning in. The kiss deepened naturally, unhurried, like they had all the time in the world. Ethan's hand slid into Noah's hair, not pulling, just holding. When they broke apart, Noah was breathless. Ethan rested his forehead against Noah's. This, he said quietly, is what I was fighting. Noah smiled softly. I know. Going back to the office felt surreal. Hands didn't linger publicly. Touches were brief. But Ethan's presence was constant. When Noah entered a room, Ethan's gaze followed. When someone spoke sharply to Noah, Ethan intervened without hesitation. Lower your tone, he said once. That's my partner. Not whispered. Not hidden. Noah's heart nearly stopped. The office adjusted. Some stared. Some whispered. But most understood one thing clearly. Noah was untouchable. By choice. By love. That evening, Ethan waited for Noah in the office doorway. Come home with me, Ethan said. Noah hesitated. To your place. Ethan nodded. I want you there, he added softly. Where I am. Noah didn't refuse. That night, vulnerability replaced fear. Noah admitted things he'd never said aloud. I thought loving you would ruin everything. Ethan cupped his face. It built me. Noah laughed quietly, eyes shining. They kissed again, longer this time. Ethan laid Noah down slowly, every touch intentional. Every kiss a promise. No rush. No claiming. Just trust. When Ethan whispered, "Tell me if I cross a line," Noah answered by pulling him closer. That was consent. That was love. Later, wrapped in sheets and silence, Noah rested his head on Ethan's chest. I fell first, Noah murmured. Ethan kissed his hair. I fell forever. The city lights blinked outside. Inside, two hearts finally rested. Noah fell first, quietly, carefully. Ethan fell forever, loudly, without shame. And together, they learned that love didn't need labels to survive. It only needed courage. And the choice. To stay. Chapter 6, Loving You in the Ordinary. Love didn't arrive with fireworks anymore. It arrived quietly. In shared mornings. In familiar silences. In knowing glances across rooms filled with people. Noah learned Ethan in the small moments. The way Ethan always reached for him first when waking. The way his hand found Noah's lower back instinctively in crowded spaces. The way his voice softened, only for him. You're staring again, Noah teased one morning. Ethan didn't deny it. You're still here, he replied simply. As if that alone was reason enough. Work changed, but not in the way Noah feared. Ethan became stricter in meetings. Sharper. More distant professionally. But with Noah? Gentle. Possessive in quiet ways. Ethan insisted on walking Noah to his desk. Waiting until he was seated before leaving. Standing closer than necessary during conversations. It wasn't control. It was care. And everyone could see it. The jealousy came unexpectedly. A new consultant, young, charming, laughed too easily with Noah. Ethan noticed immediately. He said nothing. Until later, when Noah found him staring out the window, jaw tight. You're upset, Noah said softly. Ethan exhaled. I didn't like the way he looked at you. Noah stepped closer. I only looked back at you. That was all it took. Ethan turned, pulled Noah into his arms, forehead resting against his. I don't want to feel like this, Ethan admitted. Noah smiled gently. Then trust me. Ethan nodded. And did. That night, they cooked together. Ethan was terrible at it. Noah laughed more than he had in years. Flour dusted the counter. Music played softly. Ethan kissed Noah's cheek mid-laugh. Stay, he said suddenly. Noah looked at him. I am. Ethan smiled, slow, full. Later, lying together, Noah traced patterns on Ethan's chest. Do you ever regret it? Noah asked quietly. Choosing me so openly. Ethan's answer came without hesitation. Never. He kissed Noah's fingers. You're not a risk, Ethan continued. You're my certainty. Noah's chest tightened. The world still watched. But it didn't matter anymore. Because inside the quiet of shared rooms and gentle touches, they had built something unshakable. Love didn't ask them to be loud. It asked them to be steady. And in the ordinary days, the shared meals, the quiet jealousy, the gentle reassurances, Ethan and Noah learned something rare. Forever doesn't always arrive dramatically. Sometimes, it simply sits beside you. And stays. Chapter 7, When Fear Knocked One Last Time. Fear didn't arrive loudly. It never did. It came disguised as doubt. Noah thought he had left fear behind. But one careless article brought it back. Blackwood CEO's personal life under scrutiny again. Noah read it alone. The words blurred. Speculation. Pressure. Investors uneasy. He didn't show Ethan. He smiled. Did his work. Stayed quiet. But love makes silence loud. Ethan noticed immediately. You're holding something back, he said that night. Noah shook his head. I'm tired. Ethan didn't push. Not yet. The pressure returned slowly. Board members requesting private talks. Subtle warnings. Think long term. Ethan listened. And walked away unchanged. But Noah saw the weight settle on his shoulders. One night, Noah whispered into the dark. What if I'm the reason they question you? Ethan turned to face him. You're the reason I don't fold, he replied. But Noah's fear had already found a voice. The breaking moment came unexpectedly. A former colleague of Ethan's, female, elegant, familiar, appeared at an event. She greeted Ethan warmly. Touched his arm. Noah watched from a distance. The old instinct surfaced. He belongs in that world. I don't. Noah left early. Ethan found the empty seat. And understood everything. He drove home fast. Noah was packing. Not much. Just essentials. Ethan froze in the doorway. No. Noah turned, eyes wet. I won't ask you to choose again, he said softly. You already did. Ethan crossed the room in seconds. You don't get to decide what I lost, he said firmly. Only what I keep. Noah's voice broke. I'm afraid you'll resent me. Ethan cupped his face, steady and sure. I resent the world, he said. Never you. Ethan dropped his forehead against Noah's. You didn't steal me from anything, Ethan whispered. You are where I chose to stand. Noah sobbed quietly. Ethan held him through it all. The next morning, Ethan did something final. He called a press conference. No ambiguity. No defenses. I love my partner, he said calmly. And I will not step away from him for comfort or approval. Cameras flashed. Noah watched from home, shaking. Proud. Terrified. Loved. That night, Ethan knelt, not with a ring. With truth. Stay, he said again. Not because you're afraid to leave. But because you want to. Noah answered by kissing him, slow, deep, certain. I'm staying, Noah said. Forever. Fear knocked one last time. They didn't answer with doubt. They answered with a choice. And in choosing each other, again and again, they finally understood. Love doesn't survive by hiding. It survives by standing still and refusing to move. Chapter 8: The Life We Chose. Time didn't rush them. It softened them. The headlines faded first. Then the whispers. Then the watching eyes. What remained was quieter and far more real. Noah learned that love didn't always feel like intensity anymore. Sometimes it felt like Ethan handing him the car keys without asking. Like coffee already made the way he liked it. Like a hand finding his in crowded rooms without hesitation. The world still knew who Ethan Blackwood was. CEO. Leader. Unmovable. But at home, Ethan was just Ethan. They moved slowly into something permanent. No rush. No performance. Just choice. Ethan asked Noah to move fully into the penthouse one evening while they were folding laundry. Not dramatic. Not rehearsed. Stay, he said again, like it was the only word he trusted. Noah smiled. I never left. Work became easier. Not because it was lighter, but because it was shared. Noah no longer feared being seen. He walked beside Ethan in meetings. Spoke when needed. Stood tall. Ethan never interrupted him. Never corrected him publicly. Never failed to look proud. You don't need me anymore, Noah teased once. Ethan smiled faintly. I never needed you to be small, he replied. I needed you to be here. One quiet evening, they returned to the rooftop. Same city. Same lights. Different hearts. Ethan leaned against the railing, Noah beside him. Do you remember the fear? Noah asked. Ethan nodded. I remember choosing anyway. Noah rested his head on Ethan's shoulder. That choice saved me. Ethan kissed his hair. It built me. The proposal this time wasn't public. No cameras. No audience. Just them. Ethan knelt again, not because he had to. Because he wanted to. I don't want a future without your mornings, he said softly. Or your silence. Or your steadiness. He held out a ring, simple, intentional. Marry me? Noah didn't cry this time. He smiled. Yes, he said. Every life. The wedding was small. Private. No spectacle. Just hands held. Vows whispered. Promises meant. Ethan wore no armor that day. Noah wore no fear. Years later, the city still glowed. But inside their home, the light was softer. Ethan worked late sometimes. Noah waited, not anxiously. Just faithfully. Some nights, they said nothing. They didn't need to. One quiet morning, Noah realized something. He no longer woke up afraid. No sharp inhale. No instinctive retreat. He woke to Ethan's arm around him. Secure, familiar, warm. Ethan was awake, watching him. You stare a lot, Noah murmured. Ethan smiled. I waited my whole life for this view. Noah fell first. Ethan fell forever. And together, they built a life. That didn't need permission. Didn't need explanation. And didn't need labels. It only needed one thing. Each other. Chapter 9, Still Choosing You. Love didn't stop being a choice after marriage. It became one. Every day. Years passed quietly. Not the kind of quiet that comes from emptiness. But the kind built from certainty. Blackwood Enterprises still dominated headlines. Ethan Blackwood still commanded rooms. But there was something different now. When Ethan entered a space, people noticed not just his presence, but the way his eyes searched. And always found Noah. Noah no longer introduced himself as just a secretary. He was an executive assistant, advisor, anchor. But more than titles, he was Ethan's constant. The man who knew when Ethan's jaw tightened before a difficult decision. The man who could calm him with a single touch to the wrist. At work, they were professional. At home, they were everything else. Some evenings, they sat in silence on the balcony. No phones. No meetings waiting. Just city air and shared breath. Do you ever miss who you were before? Noah asked once. Ethan didn't answer immediately. Then. No, he said honestly. I miss how lonely I thought that strength had to be. Noah leaned closer. You don't carry it alone now. Ethan smiled. No, he said. I carry you. Possessiveness never left Ethan. It softened. Matured. If someone spoke too closely to Noah, Ethan's hand would appear at his lower back. Not aggressive. Certain. Mine. And Noah never pulled away. He liked being claimed. Not as ownership, but as belonging. One afternoon, an intern asked Noah quietly, how did you end up with him? Noah smiled. He chose me, he said. And then he kept choosing me. That night, Ethan came home exhausted. Noah didn't ask questions. He loosened Ethan's tie. Pressed a kiss to his temple. Guided him to bed. They lay facing each other. No urgency. Just closeness. I still don't know how this happened, Ethan murmured. Noah brushed his thumb across Ethan's cheek. You let yourself fall. Ethan closed his eyes. And you stayed. They never became perfect. They argued sometimes. About schedules. About priorities. About who forgot to text. But they never walked away. They learned something early. Love wasn't proven by intensity. It was proven by return. On their anniversary, Ethan brought Noah back to the first office. The desk was different now. The room was renovated. But the memory lingered. Ethan stood behind Noah. This is where I lost control, he said softly. Noah laughed. This is where I fell first. Ethan kissed the back of his neck. And this is where I'll always fall. Late that night, wrapped in sheets and city glow, Noah whispered. If we had another life, would you find me again? Ethan didn't hesitate. I'd look for you sooner. Noah smiled, eyes wet. I'd still wait. Some loves burn fast. Some fade gently. Theirs did neither. It stayed. Still choosing. Still claiming. Still loving. Not because they had to. But because, every single day, they wanted to. Chapter 10, Forever Was Always You. Love didn't announce itself at the end. It simply continued. The city woke early that morning. Sunlight spilled between towers, touching glass and steel, reminding the world that time never paused, not even for great love stories. Inside the penthouse, Noah woke first. Not because of anxiety. Not because of fear. Because he wanted to. Ethan slept beside him, one arm heavy around Noah's waist, grounding, familiar. The man who once ruled boardrooms now slept deeply, peacefully, unguarded. Noah traced the faint lines of age at the corner of Ethan's eyes. He smiled. Love had written itself gently there. They didn't talk much over breakfast. They never needed to. Ethan passed Noah coffee. Noah adjusted Ethan's cufflinks. Rituals. The kind built from years of choosing each other in small, unremarkable ways. Some loves don't need to be loud. To be real. They choose. They stay. And sometimes, they change everything. If this story stayed with you, leave a like. It helps more than you know. Tell us in the comments which story you want to listen to next. And subscribe to BL Without Labels for more stories that don't ask for permission. This was You Fell First. I fell forever.